it's Way Up with Angela Yee. It's our favorite day, Wealth Wednesday. Stacey Tisdale is here.
Happy Wealth Wednesdays, everybody, and we are super excited. This is going to be a different one.
Uh-oh.
We're going to be talking about relationships. We're going to be talking about real estate. We're going to be talking about soft living, and we have the one and only Coach Lee.
Thank you.
Talitha, but Coach Lee to you, who is the founder of Sweet to Elite. That's a global community with actually thousands of students that are searching for their total lifestyle level up. You're the author of Rich Man Me. We're going to talk about that.
Yes.
And you are a soft life expert.
Ooh.
And we are so excited to have our Wealth Wednesdays Real Estate Club co-host with us, Sam Ibrahim, who you all know.
Yes.
That's our guy. Our students are just kicking it in the club.
That's right.
Sam's done over 1,400 transactions, over $80 million in real estate for the students. And
He's living a soft life for sure.
He's definitely living his soft life. Soft life Sam over here.
He's living a soft life.
Yeah.
We have a really exciting
Staple.
Yeah, we have a really exciting announcement of how we're bringing that all together. But first, we got to start with you, Ms. Lee, Coach Lee.
Yes.
Talk to us about how Sweet to Elite happened, what made you think of it, how it came up, and your story, how that all came about.
Yeah. Well, it was, really failing forward. I got to a point in life and relationships that I was legitimately at the bottom. And I'm like, I have to make a decision at some point where no one else can fire me. No one else can take my employment. No one else can tap my income. I need to be in control of this. And after falling to that bottom and making that decision, I realized that this strategy I'm putting together is actually not just working for me, right? Like taking my skills and my knowledge that I know, dumping it into a place, a portal, an outlet. I don't care if you stand on the street and talk about it. Mm-hmm. When you talk about your process, people pay for it. And so my journey started with me hitting the bottom, lifting myself up, elevating myself, realizing that relationships need to be rich and not just monetary, right? But rich. And as I tapped into that, I said, I wonder if I can start sharing this with other people. And as I began to share it, it started to spread like wildfire through the internet. And I created a whole new avenue and lane for dating and business and blending the two.
Talk about what the actual concept behind it.
Yeah. So, there has never been a time where you woke up and said, I can't wait to date a broke boy. Right? Like never. Like there's not a single woman on this earth that has decided like, please come to me with nothing in your pocket and I'll save you. And so knowing that women want abundance in our lives, we want all of the things without the extreme heavy lifting of the things. And so I realized that if you turn your pain into profit, you can make money on that no one can take away from you. And if you take those skills that you learn there and implement them into your relationships and your dating, you can create a currency with every man that you meet.
And Coach Lee, you've also, but before we get too deep into that, you also don't feel like women should come to the table with nothing.
I just said that yesterday. I literally made a post that was like, imagine you getting mad at a man that asks you what you bring to the table and you don't have no money. Like, imagine you being upset that he's asking what you bring to the table, but you're broke, babe. Right. You have to radiate on the level. The CEO man that you wants a CEO. And so when you align your goals and you connect with people, you've got to set an expectation, and the expectation is either low and you get the brokies and the broke boys, so check your relationships, or you realize that I've elevated to a point where I'm connecting with the people that help me thrive. And every time I leave a relationship, I walk away better than when I walked in. And that's the goal. No brokies, including you.
Right.
Because you're not looking for someone... You're not telling women to look for someone to save you. You're saying how to position yourself as an asset.
Let me be clear. No one's coming to save you. No one ever is coming to save you. And so what I teach ladies is how to really elevate within yourself, brand yourself, right? Become the offer. And you become kind of the author of the offer, and you're literally sharing what you know. And as you do that, you connect with like a resource that's just abundant. Overflow of residual income and passive income. Just you profit and you share and you make money. And as you do, you become rich yourself to connect with the men that actually are aligned with you. The men that you desire are waiting on the other side of your elevation.
Coach Lee, you know what I want to talk to you about? When you were on Sherry Shepherd, and Sam, I want you to weigh in on this too.
Okay.
saying that if a man doesn't make at least $50,000 a year, he should not be dating.
No, ma'am, he should not.
All right. So first, I want to hear what Sam has to say. As a man, what are your thoughts about that statement?
No, I actually agree with that statement. Right? You could go out there and have fun, but you should not be dating something that you're hoping to progress. Right? Because if yourself is not right, how do you expect to help someone else be right and be right together? Right?
Absolutely.
And go together. So I think if you're going to date, if you're going to look for a significant other that you're going to try to grow with, you got to make sure that your home is right first.
Stand up, Sam. Stand up, Sam.
Now, Coach Lee, tell me your thinking behind this, because this actually was a moment that
went crazy.
Crazy.
It went mega viral, and I still stand on it, because imagine you being in a position where you realize you can't even Netflix and chill for free anymore. Netflix is $24, sis. Netflix is $24.
We can't even share accounts like
you
we
can't
used to.
even share. So courtship costs, if we break it all down, he's going to spend his money. Right? And so if he doesn't have any money to spend, how is he going to court you properly? You imagine being treated like a princess and all of the things, and how is he supposed to show up in that relationship without money? So I encourage the men to sit down for a year. Sit down for a year. Don't put your mind onto anything other than getting to your bag. And when you do, the kind of women you get at the end of that year will put shame to the women that wanted you at the top of the year.
But how do you not attract the women that want you just for your money? Because that's a real thing too.
Yeah, that's something that I wonder as well. Are they in you for the money, or are they in you because they actually want to be with you?
I think it's a little bit of both, if I could be honest with you. Like when I met my man, it took discernment, right, on his part to say, what is this woman pulling from me and what is she giving back, right? Reciprocity is the key. And this is what I teach in my community and in my world. And that's why my ladies get so illogical results and incredible successes, because they know that reciprocity is the key to the relationship. He's missing something. And when you tap into what that something is, baby, his account will open right up and he will give you anything without you having to even ask. Yeah, I'm sure coming from anyone that has a wife, they know, or anyone that's in a long-term relationship that has a special someone, they know this woman, I am whole and complete without her, but she adds a new layer. She opens up my eyes. I'm more excited in my life. I'm looking for other avenues of growth. She progresses me because of the things that she brings into my world.
What did your man need? What did you see that was missing in his life?
Exactly. Kind of what I already mentioned. The excitement was missing in his world.
Okay.
He just was missing the joy of living and really appreciating and valuing every day. He was a hard worker. Everybody came to him. He had to take care of everyone around him and had no one to ever take care of him. And take care looks different for everybody, right? What Cardi say, I don't cook, I don't clean, me neither.
But that
but the things that he is missing, right? The things that he is missing, like, it's funny that you say that, because of course intimacy is a piece of relationships, right? But the WAP gets whopped out after a while, and it's like you're bringing stress and anxiety and weight and heaviness to my world, and I need. If I'm going to use this brain to bring home the $1 million you want me to make, I need to feel some way when I leave this house. I need to feel like the hero in it. I need to feel like the man of it. I need to feel like the authority in this place. And that doesn't relinquish anything from the women, don't get it twisted. But when you give that to your man, when you put the cape on him every day, the account opens. Cape, account. It's like instant.
Here's where people sometimes get confused about your brand and what you do. It's not just about finding that guy. You also show women how to turn their stories into businesses for themselves and become entrepreneurs. Talk about the
Absolutely.
Okay, we do that, and then we bring that to the guy.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first step that we do is really tap into your belief system, because you're only here because you believed that you could. Like, the vision of this was in your mind, and then you took action. Where my ladies find me is that space of, I need a plan and I need to get into action. They're willing to do the work, but they don't know what to do. So what I do is I ask them simply, what have you been through? You've been through some things. The journey that you've gone through has a process, and that process has a price. And when you put a price on the process, whether it's real estate and teaching people how to, whether it's edges and teaching people how to grow them out or lay them down, literally people will pay for the process that expedited your plan. So I unlock it. And every single one of the women in my world, I unlock the thing that they've been holding on to, their story that is their success, right? Their pain that is their profit. And I teach them how to unlock it in ways that don't cost them a lot of money, right? Digital world is free. Social media is free. Instagram is free. So we teach them the fundamentals of becoming a brand. How do you become your own billboard? And once they unlock that, the CEO mentality kicks in, and now the confidence is there to say hello to the men, to smile when you're in public, to invite somebody in. You lower your guard on trust and how high that level was prior to, because now you trust in yourself. You don't need somebody to carry you. You're already floating. And when that happens, the connections with the men, they know, they can feel it. And they're like, I want to give you everything because you don't need me to.
You know what? I got to ask Sam, because you're the man in the room and you're married.
Yes.
Unbelievable relationship.
Yeah,
him and his
happily
wife
married.
Together. Happily married.
So she's listening like,
yes, married don't just mean that. I mean, you're happily married.
Absolutely,
So how was she
Absolutely.
able to unlock that in you and you in her?
She's always been my biggest supporter, right? Even when I left, Wall Street and I wanted to go, start my own business and do real estate, not even know it was going to be real estate. She said, go do it. I believe in you. So her believing in me gave me confidence. Her being my support, her providing the stable income when I was like, all right, I'm going to go all in on myself and believe myself. So she's been the rock to lean on. And so I'm hearing that in what she's saying too, right? Where you want to not only see how they can improve themselves, but see how they can support the man in the relationship as well. And by you supporting each other, you both thrive.
Absolutely.
So you're more than just a relationship coach. You're actually a business coach is what I'm hearing.
Absolutely.
More than anything. So
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Ownership is the key, right? And you can go live in an amazing life and the softest life ever and be a wife for 30 years. And when that man is gone, by death or by dishonor, he will go. And when he does, what are you walking away with?
Right.
Do you have a capacity on your life now because you have no resume, no job experience, no hustle? You can't pick up his business where he left off. So now what? I eliminate the now what by creating ownership. And that's kind of where the real estate kicks in.
That's
Yes.
exactly why
It's
we're bringing you two together.
Ownership is the key,
Man,
right?
I just had a whole conversation about this that where we talked about how having property and having real estate actually makes you feel so much more stable for the
Safe.
future. Yes, it makes you feel like, I look at it like, if God forbid everything else goes wrong, I have assets that I can sell off that are actually like appreciating in value, or that are even just bringing me money in no matter what. So if I decided I want to have a nice soft life and just be at home and not have to come in, or anything happens,
Yes.
at least I know I'm okay.
Yes.
And if I wanted to sell everything I had, I'll be okay for the rest of my life if I just sold
And
it all
in
off.
Thailand somewhere living the
Right.
best.
Right, exactly.
Living my best life. And that is also true, knowing that New York is an expensive place to live.
Absolutely.
Knowing that you have something that you could always go somewhere else,
Yeah.
that is,
Yeah.
because every
And
time
live
I go
like a
somewhere
queen.
else, I'm always like, man, if I lived here, I'll be living so amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And imagine living in New York with a man who puts you in a high rise on the top floor penthouse, and you live there for 3 years and your life is amazing. You don't
Right.
even have to worry about calling your car. It's just there when you go downstairs. Imagine living like that and then deciding he walks away, you walk away, whatever happens, he gets hit by a bus. You know, this is New York. And now he's gone. And that was your man. Or even your husband. We talked about that. And now you have to readjust your whole lifestyle. Imagine just being in that situation and trying to figure out what to do next. That feeling is eliminated when you own. When you own your business, you own your income. When you own real estate, you own your lifestyle.
That's
And
exactly
so-
why we're doing. So Coach Lee is going to be one of our all-star guests on, I think, the 4th night of our Build It, Brand It, Own It challenge.
Yes, we're gonna bring
which
it
is
home.
July 7th through 11th, and it's exactly that. Partnering with Sam to teach people how to use real estate to
Yeah.
create that financial security.
Yeah.
Sam, talk about particularly women in the group that you've worked with and the club that you've worked with, and the difference that you've seen having that financial security in real estate make to
absolutely.
them, particularly entrepreneurs.
Yeah, look, learning how to buy hard assets like real estate is something that can change anyone's life, whether you're a woman or a man or period, because it provides income in your household month over month. It allows you to live your best life, to live your soft life, because you don't have to trade time for income. You build enough assets like real estate. They're appreciating, they're producing cash flow. So you can go live your best life. You can travel. You can say no to some of the, the strenuous jobs that you have to take on to earn an income. So we teach people how to buy properties, whether it's rentals, fix and flips, whatever it is, Airbnbs, if that's what your heart desires, right? Because you just need to go in there and get in the game and own. And by doing that, you'll see your entire financial future change. And we've seen that multiple times over. We had actually a young lady that thought she didn't have good credit, she didn't have cash saved, and she thought she just couldn't do real estate. She took our program and she learned the script. She used the script. She used the networking, and she was able to buy her first property. And she's already bought a couple now, where she brought someone else as an investor, and they bought the property, they own it, and they've actually scaled their portfolio to a few properties in the short span of a few months. So, and that's exactly what real estate gets you do.
I just want to piggyback that real quick, because this is why it's so important for me to collide these two worlds, right? Mm-hmm. Like, my world is women 30 plus single moms, and life be lifing. Mm-hmm. And you just never know when a crisis is going to kick in. You never know when the roof is going to cave in, literally and figuratively.
Because that happens.
And so, because it happens. And I mean, we saw it with COVID, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we didn't know that was going to happen, but there's crisis happening in our everyday lives on a regular basis. Maybe the world doesn't see it because we're good at putting out fires as single moms. But one thing that real estate does is it provides that room for error, for accident, for, oh snap, something happened. I made a mistake in my business or in my world, or oops, something came crashing down, something broke, something, that safety and security is there. And so that's the one thing, with my women, as we understand and learn the dating aspect, we know that we need a branch to something. That man might feel safe for now, but it's a temporary safety. There is no better safety and security than owning your business, owning your brand, and owning a piece of land.
Yeah, knowing that you can pull out equity too if you need it.
Absolutely.
If something happens on the flip side and you're like,
we were talking about that last week.
So you don't have to sell necessarily.
Yeah, this
you can
has
also
literally
just pull out equity.
That has saved some of my clients in my world. Like, one of the first things that they went for, I had a student who was homeless, 3 kids, twins and a baby, met a man, used my blueprint. He fell massively in love with her because she was in massive action. Even though her situation was very sticky, she was in massive action. That's what separates those that are save me, right, from those that actually are not just saved but lifted up, right? Soft. Not saved but soft. And she literally, one of the first things she did was buy property. She bought a $400,000 home, and that saved the skin off her, because this past year she needed that little trick of the trade. Let me borrow from my assets, and thankfully she had one.
Yep.
To be able to do so. It completely saved her from 6-8 months, I believe it was, of non-employment.
It's a safety net, yeah.
And relationship isn't there anymore. That safety net isn't there, but the one that is, that she's able to always go to, always borrow from. So it was critical for me to make sure that my people in my world know who this man is and understand the importance behind what he's practicing and preaching, because ownership is the key.
You're giving me chills. So you two decided to do a session together.
I mean, why
and
wouldn't we?
So our challenge, everybody, it's July 7th through 11th.
Yes.
Build it, brand it, own it. We have some other amazing influencers. We have Kika Wise is going to teach you about franchising. We have Kimberly Perriman's going to teach you about event planning.
Yes.
You're going to be teaching everybody about dating and soft living. What are some of the specific tricks? You got a lot of pressure on you now.
Yeah.
So what are some of the tricks you're going to be teaching?
He's got a room full of powerhouse ladies on the lineup.
Look,
give us some specifics. People on they're entrepreneurs looking for soft living. Give us some specifics here.
Absolutely. So we're going to show them how to go out there and find their first property. Just get the word out. Tell people that you're buying real estate. And by you just getting the word out and not staying in your shell, guess what? When people have an opportunity, the next investor that you might bring into your real estate business it'll just start happening. But if you stay in your shell, nobody ever knows about what you're doing. So on the challenge, we're actually going to give you guys real strategies to show you how to buy your first or your next investment property. We're going to show you how to get others to invest in your dream, right, and invest in your vision.
Coach Lee will help with that.
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly.
We have the method and the formula to unlocking that angel investor, we'll call it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's cute, right? That angel
investor.
investor. And so the language that you need there is the same language you will need in connections with your relationships. I can't tell you how many. Jasmine just got a $15,000 deposit over the phone because she shared her goals of real estate, and having the messaging and the language behind it outside of like, I want a house.
Yeah.
Buy me a house, right? Is important. So we're going to make sure that we give you the language behind it, but also the skill set to go and acquire it, not just through someone else, but on your own.
Sam, what about all the women or all the people out there in general who think I can't afford to get real estate, especially now at this uncertain time in the economy?
Yeah, look, one of the reasons I love real estate is because you can do it and not necessarily have to do it with your own money, right? You can use the bank's money. You can use tenants to build wealth. You can use
OPP.
borrowed money from friends and family, right? You just have to learn the strategies and get in. And one of the beautiful things about real estate is that a lot of people want to be involved in it. So as soon as you start speaking about it, people naturally want to start doing it with you, all right? So if you sell it as an opportunity and not asking for money, people will join the bandwagon and support you in your vision, which is kind of similar to what you've been saying with your people. So I think the two organizations will jive very well.
Oh, absolutely.
And be able to make a big impact.
Absolutely. The ladies are hungry for this because we build businesses, and not everybody's ready to build a business.
Right.
But they still want to be that high value woman in the eyes of the men that they're meeting. And they're like, what do I tie him to if it's not business? If I don't need inventory, what do I tie him to that cannot be a bill? My quote is, stop being the bill, become the investment.
Yay.
And the account will open up. This, ladies and gentlemen, ladies especially, is your secret code to unlocking
Sam
outside
is
of
the secret
business.
code.
Sam
Wow.
is the secret code. He's a
paid
stand-up
her- you
man
paid
with
her
the
to
secret
say
code.
that.
He's got the sauce, and he's got a sauce that I can't bring them. So I refuse to not align them with somebody who's got the knowledge, who's got the authority in this space and the brilliance to be able to make this an easy process for them. Because they're scared, right? They're like, I want this, but
Yeah, they do. Coach Lee, let me ask you this. Let's just say a woman comes to you and she's like, look, it's my birthday. My man asked me what I want for my birthday. He said he'll buy me a Birkin, but I really want to try to like get something that might be more of an investment. What could she say to him in order to, or what should she be asking for?
Yeah, that's such a great question, and I'm glad that you asked because I need them to hear this. Ladies, when you stop being the bill and you become the investment, you look for things that put more in your pocket. If whatever he's paying for doesn't put it back in your pocket, you don't want it. Like, we can't take a Birkin and go home to 24C and put it on the floor in our closet. Like, that's not the tea, right? You want to be able to go back to that asset and be able to utilize it. And when you create a space for him to invest, like land, a property, a storefront, I mean, the possibilities are endless in terms of ownership. He's more eager and excited to get it for you. You know how many bags that man, if he can buy you a Birkin, he's bought 5.
Right.
He's not excited about it. He doesn't want to go pick it up. He could care less about how fake happy you are when you open it. He doesn't care. But what would intrigue him and pique his interest more than ever is listening to a woman that sits down and has got some goals. One of the biggest things you can do for yourself, ladies, is know what you want or you get whatever. You will get the Birkin and not even want the bag. You will get the car that you don't even like. You will get things and receive things because if you don't know what you want, you get whatever. So if you come to me and you say, Coach Lee, what should I get? I'm going to turn you right back around, look you in your mirror and say, you've got to create bigger goals. You've got to create some substance in your world that makes you a little scary like real estate, right? But also positions you to put whatever he gives you back in your pocket.
What advice do you give people to do with that fear? When you turn them around and you say you have to set better goals and tell them something like real estate, and then how do you get them through that moment?
Yeah, action. It's the baby steps along the way that they're missing, and the plan is really what gives you purpose, and it makes you feel like you're achieving something. Because it might not be real estate right away, because like your credit score is 420. Like you're not.
He's got answers for
let's
that.
say-
Wait,
let's
Sam's
for
like,
that.
wait,
Let's get you-
talk
That's
about
right.
that.
So
Pause
let's
right there for
get
just a
you
second.
into
Yeah.
someone like Sam's hands, right? Like you can get all his free stuff. You can get as much of it as you can. There's so much out there that he's going to give you gems and knowledge. But if you want access to expedite the process and collapse time, you're going to pay for that. Why can't that man pay for access for you to the space that's going to give you the knowledge to actually purchase?
While you guys
You
are
see?
talking, I'm going to show you something, but go ahead.
Investments come in so many different ways. It's not just the property. Maybe you're not in position mentally and emotionally to make that move. Maybe you're so scared you can't take the step, but what you can do is get in proximity with the people that know how to eliminate the fear. They know how to give you the solutions. They know how to create a customized plan for you. So the fear is eliminated. Fear is just a lack of a plan, not knowing where to go next. He eliminates that. And so when you join the challenge, you're going to look at this and say, should I make this investment? What happens when you don't? What happens in 5 years when you don't make the investment? You could have bought the property, you could have had the assets, you could have seen the account growing. But now you're looking back and said, damn, I wish I would have spent that I wish I would have spent that time.
Look at this, Coach Lee. I was looking at this from the city of Detroit, right? They put up this post about this property.
I love this.
They bought a house in 2018 for $2,500. It's now worth $205,000.
Yes.
That's real estate for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's real estate for you.
So think about that. If somebody's going to buy you a gift, why not have a plan of what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't know what you want, you get whatever. So if he says
$2,500 could be a purse or could be a house.
yeah, if he says
right?
I'm gonna buy you a purse, and you say okay, that's on you,
crazy.
sis.
$2,500. Yeah, that is
25
exactly
isn't
a
it
purse
I'm
or a
actually,
house choice.
I'm actually a little blown by that too. Like I'm like, wait a minute, I got $2,500 right now.
Sam,
we
talk about
we
the
gonna
live,
go slide off and talk
there's
about
live
$2,500.
deals like this that you're going to actually introduce people to in the challenge.
Absolutely.
Talk
On
about
the challenge, we actually go through real live deals,
Right.
and we analyze them together. So when a deal comes across your plate, you know whether it's a deal or not because you've already gone through the analysis process, right? And for those that are ready to take action, they can actually buy some of those deals live on their challenge
And
and
foreclosures
close their
like
first
that.
deal.
Didn't you have
Foreclosures,
someone
probates.
recently just close on a call?
That's right.
That was the most incredible. And this is why I want my women in the room.
Yeah.
He literally helped this woman live in real time close her first deal, right? It was her
That's
first
right.
property
her
ever.
Her first property.
That's awesome.
So in the beginning of,
Where did they
of,
find
of a
that at?
prior challenge, she was saying, "Oh, I don't have the money to pay rent. I'm struggling." And I said, "Why don't you go out and ask every single person that you know if they know anyone that wants to sell a property?" And in the span of a day or two, she found someone that was losing their property to taxes, which I've talked to you guys before is a great strategy to find property. And she brought it onto the challenge, and guess what? Sold it to another investor on the challenge and made a $6,000 profit like that without having to put any money up. And those
We
are some of
love
the
it.
strategies we teach people in our organization.
And when you know that, when you have the knowledge, you can then speak to it. So when it comes to being the investment, you have to do the dirty work and acquire the knowledge. Even if that knowledge is, hey, babe, I really want to join this challenge, or hey, babe, I really want to get inside of this real estate community. Can you help make a way for me to join this process? Because I know that I've been looking at 4 or 5 properties around the way, and I don't know my first steps to getting my hands on them.
I'm looking for my checkbook for you right now.
Hello.
And that's it. So you give the
just
scripts.
open-ended.
The scripts.
Don't even write a number. Just
Come on.
I've seen you say that for in the dating and the asking for investment space, sometimes our mouths are our worst enemies.
Oh, it does the dirty work. We overtalk all the time. I'm still guilty of this too. I'm sure doing radio, you've had to catch yourself when you go. You've trained yourself at this point. I need to come take Angela's training because we definitely talk
You
ourselves.
can start a coaching visit. I'm telling you.
Oh,
Go ahead.
boom, girl, there it is.
Boom, let's go.
But it really, we talk ourselves out because one, we don't have enough information to actually tie to the goal, right? Like they have to emotionally feel what you feel. And if you don't have the numbers, the knowledge, the locations, the time frame, then you're already off. But when you have the right words, when you have the right messaging, you literally will find that the connections you create that cost you money will be paid for and expensed as long as you know the right words. She knew the right words, went and talked to somebody else, found a property, brought it back. That's all she knew how to do. Find the property, bring it back. She only knew step 1. When you pay for proximity to step 1, it expedites and collapses the time. If she wasn't in that room, she wouldn't have got there. It's the words. It's the words. Many of us know we want the words.
So
We're going to give you the words on day 5, right?
You guys are
day
day
5 or
4
day 4? Day 4?
I think we're day 3.
No, we're not day 3.
She's like, what day
Well,
are we?
Well, we're one of the days.
We're one of the
We're
days.
one of
So
the
just be
days.
there on all the
June-
days. Just be there on all
July
the days.
7th through 11th, and you can sign up. You can go to wealthwednesdaysrealestateclub.com, or you can simply follow Wealth Wednesdays on Instagram.
Yes.
And you just type wealth in one of the chats. So something we were just talking about, another one of our all-stars is going to be their Joy Hunt, who teaches people how
Love
to get
her.
free money
She's amazing.
for their businesses. And I had no idea that people can get free money and grants and entrepreneurs and use that to buy real estate properties.
Yeah.
I was just talking about that.
Yeah, Angela, that's why I came to mind. Angela just mentioned it.
You can have your whole renovation practically for free, all right, for grants. There's all these vacant properties in many cities, and the city doesn't want that, right? The locals don't want that, so they'll actually put money up and grant money to turn these vacant, eyesores into beautiful homes for people to live in, all right? And it's amazing, right? You just have to go out there and actually grab it, and you need to know where to look, right?
Yep.
You need the knowledge.
And you need a bit of a track record, too. I think that's part of it also. But, like me, I'm starting off small. And then now that I've got some things under my belt, I feel more confident. But it's good. Like, you start off small. You learn all the things. It's like an education.
Yeah.
In it. And then you're like, okay, I'm ready for the next thing. I'm ready for the next thing. And it's also, you do have a responsibility to the community that you're going into to make sure that you're doing what it is that you need to, for it. So I never like to go someplace and not be involved in that place where I'm going to be. And so I think that's important too.
Good.
Make sure you're connecting with people who are already doing work on the ground, showing that you want to be supportive of what's happening and be an asset.
That's good.
To the whole community. So that's important too.
Yeah,
you never
don't
want
be
to
the
just
bill,
come
be
in
the
as like an
asset.
outside developer. So
I like that.
And one last
Be the
point
asset
on
is
community.
good.
We're bringing 4 incredible influencers together for this all-star challenge. We work within community, Wealth Wednesdays Real Estate Club. Talk about how powerful that is for people to be doing these transactions within community and what they get when they join the club.
Absolutely.
For doing that.
Look, we teach people to learn how to turn their everyday speech into opportunities, how to buy properties that are going to provide cash flow and wealth and appreciate over time. We show them how to turn their soft life dreams into hard-earned cash, right? And we give you real strategy. So for everyone who comes to the challenge and joins our community, we give them real actual items and we give them a support system. So I'm a big believer, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, go in a group. And that's exactly what it is, because a lot of people will partner up on deals together. One person will have a deal, the other person might have cash. One person will have a deal but doesn't have time, but this person has all the time in the world. And they put their resources together and they get a deal done. They get their first or second and they're off to the races. And that's exactly what we hope to provide to everyone who joins.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. This was amazing.
Thank you
I feel
so
like we
much.
could learn so much just by joining this challenge.
Absolutely. Build it, brand it, own it. Go to wealthwednesdaysrealestateclub.com. You can sign up right there.
Yes.
Or just follow Wealth Wednesdays on Instagram, and you can drop wealth in any post, and you'll get all the information you need to sign up. It's July 7th through 11th. We're so excited you're going to be there.
I am thrilled to bring this to my people. You guys have no idea. My
Sweet
ladies
to
are
Elite.
ready.
Make sure y'all follow Coach
My
Lee.
ladies
This
are ready.
is amazing.
I'm
Sweet
so
to
excited.
Elite.
Sam.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
No
Thank you for
problem.
partnering with me and doing this and the other powerhouses. Angela, thank you for having us.
I appreciate you.
Sis, you're
Everyone.
amazing. I appreciate y'all.